So when people were like, oh, like, how'd you come back, blah, blah, great team, you know what I'm saying? Attention to detail. And then you don't have to pull 12-hour days, 5 to 6 days a week.
That's it. Oh yeah. Why did you choose me? I'm very happy and blessed that you did choose us, but.
So when I was talking to strength coach at Brooklyn,
Okay.
they talked about, because if you look at force play data and things like that, they already talked about me being like really strong and powerful and like all this other shit. But I need to get better in movement in different planes.
Sure. Kick.
And
We're getting really good range here though. Your heels almost to your butt. Go ahead.
I need to get better in moving in different planes. That was one piece. And then two, I also knew that I had kind of, over the pandemic, I kind of got detrained a little bit. Because I was in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
With my son.
Yeah, and now good resources.
I wasn't doing my normal thing. And I'm not going back to LA, you know what I'm saying, with Ola, with whoever else. If the team sends a strength coach out there, then I'm with them. And well, you know me, I'm a pretty consistent, diligent type of guy.
Absolutely.
So,
Bring it back.
Being in San Antonio and not abiding by my schedule, I think was a contributing factor, and also, like I said, getting better in different movement planes. And so, what came across very apparent to me, somebody you're a very diligent person, ready to work, and also you're literally Mr. Do the movement. So it was like, it makes sense. And it's not to say I didn't take different pieces or whatever. I got the tip bar from these or toes. They give that to me, so I got to do that at the crib. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
But primary training was you. Barron's obviously referred me for Brees as like the PT.
Absolutely.
And then you incorporated Craig, who was your PT recommendation, and that's how the teams put together. So the two main pillars were you and Barron's, and then
referrals outside
for the two PTs. And obviously, as everybody talked to each other, nobody was like, hey, like this guy here has no idea what he's doing.
Right.
So everybody was like, oh no, these dudes are smart.
Right.
And my thing is when putting together a group of people, because everybody says that you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen and all that stuff. I think that speaks to when people either are lacking skill sets or are not collaborative.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather be surrounded by a lot of smart people if they're collaborative. You know what I'm saying? Than not surrounded by smart people. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. But also, I think the beauty about the four of us is we were very open.
Yeah.
We were very open-minded in what each other had to offer, And I think that was a key ingredient to why it worked. Give me your initial impression of the first couple sessions of you and I. Within that first week or that first month, I want your reflection on me, on how I approached the program, you know what I mean? Just bust that open and be honest, be bloody honest.
So it's actually gonna be funny to see our recollection of it. So I remember doing the G squat until I was fucking tired and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that, and we did just a lot of balance work,
right?
Holds, already, and we did BFR every day. And like I said, that was my real first introduction, because I did it a couple of times when working for Rehab with the little glue machine, but they're doing the obviously 30, 15, 15, 15, but it was the Rehab, and that's kind of it. I had been introduced to doing it every day, and then also doing it with load for real.
Right.
So we would hip thrusts and stuff with actual load. So my legs would be shot versus body weight squats. You know what I mean?
Was our training was it difficult?
For sure.
Can you give us a relative idea of how difficult our workouts were?
Oh, it all depends on the day and I think the period of training. Because the most difficult stuff was the 2020s. For sure. That was
by like month, what, 3? Is when you include that?
No, like 5.
Month 5?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
No.
Yeah, you're right, because I already done running shit.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
so-
5. When you introduced to 2020, you was talking about tissue tolerance and preparing to play and stuff like that. That was when it was like, you know, you got the full sweat, like you thinking about, man, should I have ate before I did this? Like that's like the hard gym, right? Whereas like when we first started, I wasn't getting much like cardiovascular fatigue, obviously, but it was impactful in the sense of, like I said, we do a lot of balance work.
Extend.
Sorry. Keep going back to
Yeah, just go ahead and rep it. So we're doing single leg stability. I remember you struggled heavily on that
Oh
and how frustrating it was.
yeah, but and big toe smash is a big thing, which I still need to continue to improve on. Talked about the feet, applying force to the ground. Just like
I think one of the big differences that you bring to the table versus anyone I've ever worked with is you ask a grip of questions. Almost to the point to where I'm thinking that you're just asking questions just to ask questions, but as I got to know you, I realized that now you're really just a super inquisitive, want to learn type of dude. So being that you asked a bunch of questions, did I ever answer like, that kind of don't make sense, or you contradicted yourself because this, and this? Did I ever like fumble?
No. So you never fumbled. I thought you were gonna ask if you ever was like, oh, shut up, but you did it a couple times. You should. Yeah, I did that a couple times. But nah, it was actually funny because I think it was probably like the 3rd week of us working together. Maybe the 2nd week. You asked me why I asked me a question. I told you I was like, I used to study this in college.
Sure.
But then obviously I didn't finish because basketball, communications, and whatever. But it's actually like a little passion. Like I like to cook, I like to think about the body and how to do better. So it was great for me being here because to the point you made, you never contradict yourself. You always have reasons. You always have research and things to back up those reasons. So it gives me homework where I can go home and be like, man, is he bullshitting me trying to do a million fucking things? Or not? Like I guess like the research does show that like this is helpful. So
And I know you had to fact check me before.
yes.
And did I ever come up faulty?
No. Yeah, well, what happened 2 days ago when I got the email from the power play folks about the power play VFR study that they did.
Yeah.
And we had talked. I had never fact checked on that because I had fact checked the power play and Brooklyn Wright talking about VFR. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of that stuff, but had never used it in conjunction to you.
Sure.
It made logical sense. I didn't fact check it, but it's just funny that now, where are we 8, 9 months later?
9 months later.
Yeah, you get an email, or I get an email, sorry. They're like, hey, look, well, here's a study about such that you were talking about.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
I got a cool little laugh out of that for sure.
On your stomach? Okay, so you're super inquisitive. You love to fact check. Where does that come from?
Just my parents, the way I was raised. I mean, they always told me I could be anything I wanted to be, right? Whether that's president, doctor, whatever. But they also instilled the value of hard work and obviously when you're trying to figure out how you're going to be these things, but also work as hard as possible, you learn very early to work smart and things like that. Because my dad's an entrepreneur, so he's made plenty of business mistakes, but also made a bunch of successes. And you learn like, hey, like the more I can listen to wisdom and guidance, the less mistakes like I'll make. And you'll always make some, and you're gonna have to learn the hard way in a lot of different ways. But if you listen, right, you can avoid some of those. And how am I gonna get knowledge? I ask, a closed mouth don't get fed, right? So
Closed mouth don't get fed, that's right.
there you go.
I always believe it's better to learn from other people's mistakes than your own. So you have to ask questions to learn what those mistakes are, right?
There you go. And for example, like if I came into training and was like, hey, you know, I studied kinesiology for a year and a half while I was in college. We're gonna do it this way. Meanwhile, Mike got degrees and, you know what I'm saying, been an NBA trainer for years and you know what I'm saying, transform people's lives and bodies, not just athletes, but you know, you said you train pregnant before. Like,
Yep.
you know, you have a completely different level of expertise than I do, right?
Sure.
And so you listen to that, and then also, obviously, with you being who you are, I can say, hey, look, like, when I do a step back, I turn my foot this way. So how can we train so that when my foot turns, we're in the right position? And so then that collaboration happens because there's a mutual respect,
Right.
you know?
Yep. Beautiful. Beautiful. Why do you think that we were able to get cleared so fast?
I think because we respect each other's work ethic. I think that's the main thing. I feel like if I came in and I was lazy, I was going to say BSing. But you probably got to cut that out.
Nah, be free.
Okay. Then you'd have probably been more of a taskmaster and been like, I don't even know if he's really here, wants to get better. I think after, you know what I'm saying, a couple sessions, you're like, yo, like, and think about it, like, even the time frame we were coming, like, I was going to Craig at 6 a.m., showing up to yours at 7. You feel me?
Go over that schedule for us.
Shit.
People need to know this.
So we would do,
What? 6 a.m. with Craig to about 7:15. I leave from 7:15 to like 9. Then I go to Sun Life, give me some green juices with chlorophyll and
Chlorophyll.
you know what I'm saying? Whatnot. On some healthy stuff. Then I go to Barrington for Breeze. I be at that block from like 12 to like 3:30. And then I would go from there and I get some shots up at night from 5 to 6:30, back to crib 7. And
So we're literally talking about 5 a.m. wake up till 6 p.m. finally done.
Yeah. And I like, so when people were like, oh, like, how'd you come back, blah, blah. Great team, you know what I'm saying? Attention to detail. And then you're going to have to pull 12-hour days, 5 to 6 days a week.
That's
like,
it. The work is undefeated.
Yeah, like, you know, literally Monday through Friday I was scheduling, and then, you know what I'm saying, on Saturdays, I would still go get soft tissue probably.
Right.
And if I did have some energy, maybe put up some shots just because I was missing the game a little bit.
Right.
And obviously, remember, when you're doing this, we had lists to the doctor, so it wasn't like I was playing in month 1. If they said spot shooting, I was spot shooting, so it doesn't mean it was always the most taxing
We
stuff.
followed the
We
protocol.
followed the protocol, but, you know.
Kind of.
Yeah. We did put the pedal to the a little bit. But, no, I mean, overall, like, you're going to have to do that, and you have to make sacrifices, and,
Right.
you know, that's one thing I think even my parents and stuff don't understand until you're in it. You know, obviously, you guys understand because we've been on this journey together, and y'all know the work that y'all are putting through. But you know, I don't know how many people really don't ever like
Truly understand.
truly understand that.
Until you
And
find
that
out.
was tough. That was tough, especially even mentally. Like, you know, like sometimes you want to go have fun, you want to go do other stuff. And not to say I didn't have some fun Saturdays, 'cause I definitely did. But like Monday through Friday,
Locked in.
you locked in. And that also includes eating right. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'd have 3 of the green juices from
Creation.
yeah, creation and sunlight, where you talking about that's celery, kale, spinach, a little bit of mint, and then we're adding spirulina and chlorophyll to them. You know what I'm saying? My Bible was a completely green. We also added beets too for circulation.
Little red, little reddish
Brown.
brown.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I'm drinking, so that's what, I think the large green juice was 16 ounces. So
Yeah.
that means you're talking about 48 ounces of green juice. Then you gotta get at least 1 liter, 2 liters of Mountain Valley water. Plus you're getting smoothies. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, you're talking about 2 to 3 smoothies a day. And I think from creation, those might be 16 to 24. So you're crazy hydrated. During the day, you know what I'm saying? We're not doing no red meat, nothing fried. So lunch is like salads. You know what I'm saying? Like really that's it. Breakfast is usually like normal stuff, oatmeal, fruit, stuff like that. We might go a little crazy at dinner. Because like I said, we need our outlets. Like I definitely had some fried chicken for dinner and stuff like that. But like that's the way you eat. That's the schedule you're pulling. You know what I'm saying?
What about your sleep?
Oh, we had the Whoop tracking it for most of the recovery, and then I lost it. I definitely lost that shit. But for most of the recovery, we had the Whoop trying to track that stuff. I mean, you know, making sure the house temperature, for example. is under 68 degrees so that my body can cool down and we can help create brown fat. We talked about that. Like it's like we try to be 1% better at every point in time, and everybody that was a piece of it and around it was bought into that same mentality.
Sure.
You feel what I'm saying? Like
We were all speaking the same messages.
exactly. Nobody in the recovery was like, nah, you can't do this. And that was big for me because it's easy to find people that say, hey, you can come back and they say you. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to find those people. They're dime a dozen. It's hard to find a group of guys that are all like, hey, let's go make history. And the reason why I needed that around me was because that not only is that mentality I had, but like number two, I wanted to put myself in a point where if I did fail, we were landing on a reasonable target.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All right, I want to come back in 5 months. But if it was 7, it's not like it was going to be bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We set our lofty goals, and I feel like that's the way you got to operate in life. Because if I shot for 9 months or a year or whatever and failed, bro, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
So I wouldn't even be playing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I got hurt. Basically, I had surgery in January.
January.
So we wouldn't even be playing until 2022. Like,
So you could, if people don't know, if you don't know, Adrian Peterson came back from an ACL in less than a year
yep.
and broke the rushing record
Go.
that year.
Yep.
We could kind of compare that, based off of the fact that you were less than a year playing 30 minutes a game.
If I can make it on 13 this year, which means like the Wizards have to keep winning, that would be my Adrian Peterson moment. Sure.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I look at.
It's amazing. It's amazing to reflect.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you've never really just reflected, even though you're in it right now, so it doesn't feel like the job is done yet. You know what I mean? You still gotta win and produce. How about, because you mentioned mental, what were the strategies that allowed you to continuously stay locked in? Like, how did you figure that out for yourself? Like, was it the outlets? Was it Fabrice encouraging you to go on that vacation? Was it, you know what I mean?
So actually, yeah. I mean, I would say that I think those things were more impactful than you would think at the time.
Right.
Like,
was that a surprise?
It was because, so obviously, worker diligent, like we talked about a bit. Fabrice told me probably the second week I was there, he was like, "Yeah, with the way you work and the schedule you're pulling, like you're gonna need breaks." He said it was like a teapot almost, like it lets off steam when it's like
boiled.
Yeah, it's boiled.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, he was like, you're gonna need, and he's like, it's not to say that you're gonna go crazy, but you're gonna need 3 days here, 5 days here, whatever it is. So we actually planned out the vacations too. So he wanted me to do that 3 month mark. I think the 3 month and 2 week mark was my birthday, so we pushed it back a little bit, but I took like a 1 week vacation for my birthday. And then we had another one, which was it right before France or right after, something like that? It was two breaks.
It was like right after you signed it.
Yeah, like right after something. So it was 2 breaks. But he said I was gonna need them. He said like when I took those that I'd come back stronger. And that's why you have a lot of guys different expertise. And he was right. You know what I'm saying? The first day back was always a little bit of a struggle because I was working through some liquor. But by day 2, we was back rolling and everything was right. So, he was right in that respect, and I was mentally charged. And
nice, mentally charged.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fabrice.
Yeah, shout out to Fabrice. For sure.
Good people, man. Love it, dude. Talk to how different or enjoyable or non-enjoyable my training style is. Let's go with training style as far as just like how I train, and then let's go with coaching style as far as how I coach.
Okay.
Throughout the rehab process, obviously.
Yeah. I think training style definitely got more fun as I got more into normal training. Because at first, like, we were doing more like by the book, like I said, like ISO holds, just stuff that's like
stupid tedious shit.
yeah, like balance here, balance there. But as we got more into it, we started doing a lot of like basketball specific stuff. So
Right.
you know, we were replicating step backs and replicating, you know, grabbing a rebound or replicating, you know, playing defense and also I had like some of my boys training with me too while I was out there,
Which was huge.
which was fun. You know what I mean? Because like you know you're doing this training now, like as the itch for basketball starting to come back, because you're moving better, moving more. You know what I'm saying? I'm comparing myself to my two healthy friends, and I'm starting to see them moving better than them 3 months post-op.
Right. And that was a point of shit talking. Like, this fool just got ACL surgery. What the fuck? You gonna let him beat you?
Yeah. So there's a certain level of confidence that grows there too, and not to say that you know shouldn't beat them. Of course, I'm a professional athlete. They're not, but if they're healthy and they were D1 caliber athletes, and you know what I'm saying, when they were younger, because they're like 30, and out of shape. So I'm just setting the stage appropriately. But still, like to be 3 months out or whatever into, you know what I'm saying, be running with them or whatever it may be, and feeling good. Like, you know, those are some of the areas where I grabbed confidence for sure. Like,
Hell yeah.
you know, I knew my basketball skills would be fine. Like, we'll get there when we get there, but you know, you want your body to feel good and feel right. So,
Absolutely.
that was the point.
Toes in touch.
Yeah, I got a little bit more.
Feel better?
Yeah.
Feel less restricted? Go a little quicker now. That feels safe?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the rehab process with me?
Honestly, probably the football.
I knew you
Football.
would say that. Talk to us about the football, why we did it in your mind, and why it was the best part.
I would say after spending months in the gym, being out in the open air was cool. So
Right.
it's a different vibe psychologically.
Right.
I think we did it to train a little bit of minor cutting. I think we also did it, obviously with your hand-eye coordination, and also after a couple of times we started running routes with a little bit more speed, so doing a little top end speed out there. Yeah, I mean, I think just the switch up was
Right.
it just felt fun versus like
Work.
work.
But still getting
Especially yeah, especially that was coming off the 2020s, right?
Yep.
We already just done everything, so that was a tough little training. That was the toughest period of training that we had, like in terms of just like taxing.
Physically taxing, right?
Like I would say, like exercise wise, like some of those single like split squat holds when they're heavy, like, you know what I'm saying, for 30 seconds or something, probably like the toughest exercise itself.
Sure.
But like the like sequence of training,
Yeah.
2020.
20s, yeah. Yeah, the football is always a fan favorite just because it's novel. It's a cool sport that's not basketball, but you can still train basketball-like movements with the football and on the field, and just that environment is just fun. Absolutely. Push. What was your what part of the rehab process did you hate? No offense taken. No love lost. Push.
Shit, the 20s.
Oh, the 20s, no question.
Yeah, man. It sucked. It just sucked.
Push.
Especially because like you already know how I am. Like I lift up a bike, but I have to, but I don't really like
Right.
trying to do that shit.
Right.
So like when you're doing 20s or like, you know what I'm saying,
Shoulder
presses,
press.
yeah, shit like that. I'm like, bro, come on. Just give me the 10 leg exercises and then we can call it a day.
So we didn't get a lot of on-court training because you had Olin, and understandably so. But the court training that we did have, give us your thoughts on that, like how it was. Like reflect on just the court training that we did.
So, as you correct me if I'm wrong, the court training we did seemed to come in like two parts. It was either movement based or competition based. And so obviously competition based is always fun. Like when you play one-on-one or whatever, like that's always fun. Movement based, when you brought us out the first day, you said something might look awkward. You know what I'm saying? It sounds
Right.
weird, you know what I'm saying? It might seem a little weird, but remember, this isn't like skill acquisition. Treat this like it's weight room type of thing, but it's on the court trying to apply, right? Like what you learned. So that's really the way I approached it. So, you know, the court work, I looked at it as like trying to like still hit the shapes and angles and things you want to hit versus like when I'm really trying to like go get a bucket. I'm not thinking about shapes and angles.
Right.
I'm thinking about hitting this basket.
Yeah. The person that's in front of you and how I'm going to get completely taxed.
Exactly. Like, I hope I hit the shapes and angles in the process. I ain't gonna lie to you, but like, you trying to get the basket.
Right. Why do you think it was important for me to emphasize those shapes and angles with speed, load, and positioning?
Molly, right? It's when your neurons and whatnot like connect the activity in the brain in your body. So I'm assuming part of the reason you also want us to be on the court when we did some of this stuff, so that the stimulus felt familiar in our mind. So we try to. What's the old saying? It's like you don't rise to the occasion, you follow your preparation.
You follow your preparation.
So you wanted, I'm assuming, all of us to have our brains to have that place to go to. So more than consciously, but subconsciously, you've been in that area on a floor, on a basketball gym with a ball in your hand, all this stuff. So it's not, you don't end up in a situation where you're like, oh,
foreign.
Yeah, it's not foreign. There you go.
And that makes sense.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, that makes sense in my mind for sure. I mean, I equate to like a fighter. Like, you know, think about it. Whenever we've been in like, I've only been in fights in basketball, right? When your adrenaline starts pumping, like, you know what I'm saying, you ready to throw hands whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You're very rare in this situation, been like 3-4, right?
Right.
But think about like boxing. Think about the way they throw punches. It's calm. It's precise. Like they're hitting their target. Like they're not firing. And then throwing haymakers. They're just like, it's. And that's also why, like, you know what I'm saying, street hands ain't ever gonna beat real hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I look at it kind of like that. It's the same way, like with basketball. Like when you've been in those positions time and time again, like it's precise. You know what I mean? Like you see the game differently, you read the game differently, and movement I don't think is any different. That's most a human thing than
absolutely. Which is why it would make sense to all the youngsters that all they want to do is play.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you were also within that category as well, right? Why it's important for them to get off the court and train a little bit.
Yeah, probably my first day CL, I had to like go to weight room at all.
Say that again?
Prior to my first day CL, I had to like go to weight room at all. I was on the poop. I was that same kid. So prior to, what is that, 20 years old, 19 years old?
Yep.
I was like, nah, man, like you miss me that weight room. So I do it, but like.
You didn't see the benefit of purpose.
Man, not really.
Therefore, you lacked intention.
Yeah.
Focus.
Yeah, I definitely was not like that. Like, I did it to do it.
Right, you check the box.
I checked the box. It wasn't about like, hey, like, where's my knee flexion? Where's this? And where's that? Like I would even give a little bit more effort and attention to conditioning because I knew it would help with basketball.
Because it made sense.
Yeah, it made sense. But like,
I don't want to be tired, so therefore I should probably do this.
Yeah, and remember, like, I grew up in the age before like sports science was popular. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when I was in high school, it was 2010, 2011. Like I feel like sports science really started popping crazy, like maybe 2016. Like even looking at the league, like when I got in the league in 2014, like sports science wasn't going crazy like that. It was probably like my second, third year when I really started seeing that transformation. 2016, 2017,
right.
It's grown. So you know now the high school kids are lifting and stuff, but
right.
when I was in high school,
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I was in high school, people were like rushing lift like that. And I went to public school. Bro, we had weight for rust on them and shit. Like, nobody was.
Right, it didn't even feel good to be in that environment.
Yeah, no, so like, it wasn't guys at a private school where everything was new and, you know what I'm saying? Like, squat racks and Kaiser machines and shit. No. You bitch press. That was it. Like,
and that made your shoulders feel bad.
Yeah.
They're just going to keep cycling through this. Tough question, but if you could say something to influence somebody or uplift somebody, not uplift, but really just drop a gem to somebody going through this process, what would it be? One thing, go. Because a lot of people will talk to me about you because they see how fast you were able to come back.
Yeah, I would say the first things first, maybe it's because it's always my investing advice too, is do your research. I say that because information is so readily available now with the internet.
Yep.
You can find good information, and if you have intent behind what you're doing, you have a chance of success. So everybody's not gonna be able to
have all the resources.
Yeah, have all the resources. So like for me, it's like you can still go on YouTube and other places and find information. But the reason why I say doing research is because there's also gonna be BS out there too.
Bad information.
It could be bad information. So like, but look at it like this, right? Let's say you can have some verified sources of information. Like for example, a Mike G, knees over toes guy, whatever it is, right? Now you can see enough on Instagram to be like, okay, we have verified sources of information that give me some good ways to start. So now when you go and look at other accessible things and you see bad information, you can compare it to good verified sources. You can be like, okay, that doesn't look right. Or that does look right. And maybe this person can help me because I might be in Wisconsin, right? I might not have money.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. So does this look similar though
to
what I see at this verified source? And if it does, then you probably are on the right track at bare minimum.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But if it looks completely different, you may or may not be on the right track. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the main thing. Like,
do your research.
Do your research. And if you have the proper intention, like I said, behind it, then you have a chance of making it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Do your research, which means don't be afraid of work.
Yeah. For sure.
Right?
For sure. All the way around. Like the prehab, the figuring out where you want to go, what you want to do, all that stuff is a part of the system. Like it's not
Jasper.
It's not just mind. Go ahead. Oh, back and forth. Gotcha. It's not just like mindlessly doing exercise or whatever it is. Like really like figuring it out, man. Like it's your body, it's your investment. Like you know, this is the only one you're gonna have.
Yep.
It's supposed to last you 100 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do your best.
Yep.
I don't know if this is advice, 'cause I think you already do it. I would just say like just to never settle mentality, like continue to keep pushing those boundaries.
Keep pushing the boundaries, huh?
Yeah, because like I told you, the first time
with you,
for sure. Like the first time I ever learned about BFR and power play, in combination, like we talked about earlier, was with you, and to me, it made sense. It was also something, like I said, I'd never seen the radical kind of concept. So, the more we can always be 1% better. Like obviously, I still hopefully have let's call it 6 years or something like that.
Right.
So that means 6 summers to get better. I need new shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that our journey together is very much so in its infancy.
Yeah.
We overcame a big obstacle together, but we have so much work to do.
Yeah.
Why were we able to collaborate so well? Why were we able to mesh so well? Oh, that's not. Sorry.
Oh, you're saying sorry. No, I think again that comes down to just the respect of the work and also the communication.
Communication.
Because that enables trust. You know what I'm saying? I think you trusted me to put my best foot forward and try and give effort, which I think as a coach is what you want to see, because I fucked up plenty of, not episodes, exercises.
Oh,
sorry. There's obviously, and they used to tell me too, especially early on, when I would get really frustrated, come fresh up and see all that other stuff. You'd be like, bro, you're a professional basketball player, I'm trying to be a professional mover. Why are you getting frustrated when I ask you to do something new? You know what I'm saying? Treat the weight room like another skill. You said,
absolutely.
If I asked you to go out there and be a ballerina, you wouldn't get mad when you messed it up. You know what I'm saying? So he's treat the weight room as another skill, learn the movements, movement quality, get your depth, hit your ranges, own your space.
Own your space. He really does listen. Wow.
Hey, listen, man. This wasn't one training session. This was 5 days a week for months.
Yeah. I think it was good for you to hear that analogy.
Yeah.
Being a ballerina, are you going to be upset that you couldn't hit a plie or whatever it was? No, because you're like, this isn't what I do.
Exactly.
It's the same thing, movement skill.
Yeah.
Training, being a professional mover takes time to learn those skills as well. So I'm glad that you were able to consume that information and resonate with it. Do a sissy and see if you feel any difference in your quads or your knees.
Oh, yeah.
Way better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now do this one. That's way better. That feel better?
Yeah.
Feel more free? Perfect.
Oh yeah.